My name is Day. I am a meditation guide. I do movement classes and workshops. I work with the nervous system and somatic healing. And all of these things are going to come together in one way or another in today's sort of grounding experience. What we'll do is I'll give you a little overview of a part of the nervous system that we're going to chat about. Then we'll get into our body. We'll do a particular breath work. It's called box breathing or square breathing. And I'll kind of give you a little bit more insight as we go through it, but we'll be doing that. If you're familiar with that, we'll explore that. If it's new to you, we'll also explore it together. You're welcome to ask any questions or share any insight during or after, and we'll go from there. All right, so first things first, I am so very much fascinated by the nervous system. And the nervous system is the command center of our body. It basically allows for all of the things that are happening in our body to function. And it does that by these pulses that it sends through our body. It has a couple systems that work together to inform your organs, your muscles, your bones, your skeleton, all the systems in your body to do the jobs that they are supposed to do, right? And when we say jobs, we're not thinking a kind of like they clock in sort of thing. It really is this community is what I like to share it with. And community is one of those buzzwords, right, that kind of gets muddled, but a true sense of, hey, I'm going to help you out with this. Hey, I know how to do this. Hey, maybe we can lean on this a little bit, right? And we see that sometimes when we have an injury, for example, right? We hurt our left knee and then our right side of the body is taking a little bit more weight, right? A little bit more responsibility in keeping our lives going if we're not able to rest and recover and all that sort of things. And this is what we find in this community within our body, that it really is working to hold you, to support you, to be with you, right? So this nervous system, and I've broken it down before, but we'll do a quick recap. There are a couple systems. We have our central nervous system, which is down our spine, and everything else is called our peripheral nervous system. And that includes our limbs, that includes our head, right? Because it's the central works up through our neck into our spine, and then includes all of our other limbs. Right. So each part of our body is in one way or another in contact with the nervous system. So why am I so fascinated by it? Because it does literally everything in our body, and we are living in a constant state of stress. I was talking about this with a friend earlier this week, and about this concept of, many years ago, there was lions, right? And we would get scared by these lions. And what did we do? Our nervous system would act up. We would figure out, do we fight? Do we hide? What do we do? Right? And it's almost as if now we're not facing lions, right? A one-off or one-offs situation, but we're constantly seeing lions everywhere, right? Whether it's a phone call, or we're in traffic, or we hear loud noise, or we look at the news, or we're online, right? We're constantly hit with a whole bunch of different lions, and our body doesn't really know how to respond to constant levels of threats and stress, right? And so we end up living in a state of stress that prolonged becomes anxiety, can lead to depression, can lead to insomnia, can lead to all these different parts, right? Because one part of our body is overworking, right? We're constantly stressed, and so the other part has to do something else. And there is that push and pull within the community of our body. That being said, we work with our nervous system to offer it a place of ease, to offer it a place of tending, of nourishment, of showing our mind and body some compassion so that it can take a little break, so that it can relax, because we're always going to be running, right? And that doesn't really give us a time to rest. And I want us to be aware of what rest looks like for us individually and collectively. But right now we're going to focus on ourselves, right? Because rest doesn't have to be something that we do to be productive. Rest, in fact, I would say that it really is not in our best interest to rest to do something better, right? Rest is something that we deserve because we are alive and are living this experience. It doesn't have to come at the expense of being good at something or come at the expense of overworking ourselves, right? So when we're offering our nervous system an opportunity to be tended to be cared to show love, we're showing love to all the bits and pieces of the community within our body. But because of that, we are also showing up as, people who have a little bit more ease, people who are able to respond to our environment in a manner that is more responsive rather than reactive. And that eventually creates a ripple effect, right? So not only are we tending to our nervous systems for ourselves and the community within us, but also so that we can be a community to the people around us. Our nervous system takes that information from the external world and also the information from our internal world. And it does so with a couple of senses that some of us may be familiar with. So we have our sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. And this is what helping us see the external, feel the external, taste it, hear the external world, right? But we have two that help us see our internal world. And the first one is called interoception, and the second one is called proprioception. And interoception helps us understand the responses of our internal organs. So it notices sensations, it notices the emotions within our subtle body, which, fun fact, in Tibetan Buddhism, the subtle body is known as the nervous system in modern science, right? And so we have this information that is not new information, that is not coming out of nowhere. It has existed before, and it has held true all of these years. And so as much as we are incorporating this modern sense of science, I want us to also honor the tradition that this practice is not necessarily grounded in, because we're going to be doing box breathing. However, that is a practice that I follow and that I share very much on this page and my newsletter and all those sorts of things. Back to our senses. So we have interoception, which is our subtle body, right? So when we feel ticklish, when we feel arousal, when we feel hunger or thirst, that's our internal understanding of what's going on inside us. And proprioception is understanding our body in physical space around us. So what is the size of my body? How do I move throughout this space? If someone is walking past me quickly on the sidewalk, what do I need to do to send this shoulder to go back to not get, bumped into, right? And because our body is using our nervous system to pick up this internal space, it would make sense that if our nervous system is overstimulated or overactive or not feeling necessarily grounded, right, which is what we're going to work on now, we can then have these mishaps where we're picking up on different information, which can be very overwhelming, and we have mishaps, right? They can be as simple as like bumping into someone, right, which could cause damage, or something as feeling so alert when we're driving. If you are someone who drives a vehicle or a bicycle or rides a skateboard, these are all parts of analyzing and understanding our internal and external worlds. And so what we're going to be doing today is breathing, right? Because one of the many ways that we can tend to our nervous system is meditation, is breath work. But I really do encourage you to find so many ways that you like to tend to your nervous system that feel right to you. And that can be gardening, that can be journaling, that can be cooking, that can be literally anything that helps you feel connected to your body and to your mind. It doesn't have to be meditation. I just like to share meditation. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing a little bit of opening meditation, some box breathing, which is a little bit more formal breath work or technique, and then we'll go back to meditation and then we'll close off. And that's all I got. So we're going to be working to strengthen our ability to work with our internal senses, so interoception and proprioception, during this grounding exercise. So I'll invite you now to get into a comfortable seated position, ideally. If that's not what feels accessible in your body today, you can be laying down. You are more than welcome to move throughout this practice if what you're position is in the beginning doesn't feel comfortable anymore. If it's not working for you, you can change it. That's completely fine. Don't feel like you have to feel stuck in one place just because that's where we started off. That's not true. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that as I take a little sip of tea. You can begin to close your eyes softly or have a light gaze out in front of you. And I want us to think, as we're doing this practice today, how listening to our body, how showing up for our body and tending to the community of our body will give us signals. And these signals will help us determine what it is that our nervous system is in need of or is desiring to feel safe and feel at ease, and will help you create that sort of peace within. So if there's any ideas or expectations of what this practice, what this exercise needs to look like, I encourage you to let it go. There's no need to add any more pressure to our bodies and our minds. We have that all around us all the time. So what would it look like if we gave ourselves an opportunity to just let that go for the next few minutes? Getting any last minute wiggles in, I'll invite you to lift your shoulders up, back, and down, opening up your chest, allowing for an easier flow of oxygen. Finding a neutral pelvis. If you are seated, it may be helpful to imagine that your belly button is touching your spine without tucking in your stomach, right? And I think that's something that a lot of us, particularly femmes, may experience in the world, this sense of sucking in. And we don't have to do that here. We don't have to do that ever, but we especially don't need to do that here. It's just about noticing, it's a little trick that our body does, noticing our pelvis rotate to a neutral position. If you are seated, you can place your feet flat on the ground. If you're seated in a chair, if you're on a cushion, find a comfortable position to lay your feet. Find a place to lay your palms. If you do happen to be laying down, I would encourage you to open your eyes or keep them open to avoid falling asleep. But this is up to you. You can breathe in and out through your nose for the remainder of this exercise. Unless I share otherwise, we'll probably default to in and out through your nose. If that does not feel comfortable or that's not accessible today, that's okay. Breathe out through your nose, exhale out through your nose is perfectly fine. A lot of meditation teachers will offer in and out through your nose because it helps with focusing on your breath. However, if you're looking to calm your body, it is helpful to breathe out through your mouth. It really is up to your preference. As you find your natural breath without forcing it, I'll explain what box breathing is for the next few minutes. So box breathing or square breathing is a breathing technique that helps stabilize if we're ever in a state of stress. And so this can be used literally anytime, whether you are in commute to somewhere, if you wanted to take a little break, before and after meals, if you're feeling stressed around eating. It may even help fall asleep if that's something that you are looking to work on. And what we're going to do is breathe in for 4 counts, we hold for 4 counts, we exhale for 4 counts, and then we hold for 4 counts again. And we're going to start with 4, and we'll do that for the remainder of this exercise. However, if you want to extend longer for whatever reason, you are welcome to do so. It is crucial that the sides all remain the same number of counts to make a square. But if you have that capacity and you want to push yourself or explore what that feels like in your body, you are welcome to do so. And if at any time any distractions or ideas or to-do lists come up during this exercise, all you have to do is acknowledge it. You don't have to analyze it or judge it. Just let it be, let it do its own thing, and return back to your breath with your focus. So we'll breathe in together for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll keep going. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we can try this at our own pace. I think I may have skipped a couple holds after an exhale, but we're going to try this again. But try this at your own rhythm. So we're inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4 again. And if this is the first time that we've done this, it may feel a little funky, right? So it might take a couple rounds to get a little bit more acquainted with that breathing pattern, and that's okay. That's completely fine. There's no need to rush it or push it or feel like you're not fully maximizing if you're not even getting to 4, right? It's perfectly fine to start at 2, 3. I think 1 might feel a little exhausting. After a little bit, might bring up a little bit more heat than, which is opposite. We're trying to calm down our nervous system. What this breath activity is telling our bodies, right? Because our oxygen, our inhale and our exhale signals different part in our brain due to our nervous system. So it's telling our body, hey, we're either in a state of stress and we need to calm down, or we're at a baseline and we're looking to relax a little bit deeper. And so it's sending signals to our brain saying, hey, like, we are safe. Hey, we are feeling an ease in our breath, even if at first it feels a little uncomfortable, especially if we're trying to keep on count. Over time, as we feel a little bit more safe, a little more comfortable in our body, it will send these signals of, ease, of understanding, ultimately opening up the space for our body to communicate with our mind, even though they're connected, and we often hear in our world that it's a mind, body, and connection, but they are essentially one. That you're safe, that it is safe to explore the signals that your body is sharing with you. Because as we said, as we began, listening to the signals of our body is giving us an opportunity to be more in connection with the community of our body, the community of our nervous system, and help us create that sort of peace and ease. Give you a few more seconds and we'll start at our inhale again, and I'll guide us for a couple of rounds. So together we will inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last round. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And find a natural breath now, flowing in and out through your nose or through your mouth if that's what's feeling most comfortable. Allowing for a natural rhythm that doesn't feel forced. Just letting it be. Giving yourselves a few rounds of breath. That includes your inhale, that brief hold, even if that's intentional or not. Your exhale and that brief hold, whether it's intentional or not. Allow for that cycle to flow through a few times. When you're feeling ready to do so, you can start to invite some movement back into your body, become a little bit more acquainted with your space, noticing the sounds, the colors, the temperature. Maybe rocking side to side, giving yourself a hug, opening your eyes if you had them closed. Give yourself a few moments, minutes if you can, ideally, before you carry on with your day. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate your patience with me skipping a couple holds. I hope that wasn't confusing. Good thing everything was in fours. But yeah, I really appreciate you joining. Please do feel free to share if anything came up, any ideas that you wanted to share, if there's anything that you're looking forward to me doing in the future. I would be happy to take it into account and to share it with y'all. All right, y'all. Have a good one.